Okay, this meeting is being live streamed. By staying in the meeting, you consent to be live streamed. Got it? Setting up your webinar. Done redirecting to the live stream page. Beautiful. Awesome. It's working. It's launching right now. To be live streamed. Got it? Okay, I'm gonna turn off my video, start the webinar, setting up your webinar, done redirecting to the live stream page. Beautiful. Awesome. It's working. It's launching right now. To be live streamed. Got it? Okay, I'm gonna turn off my video. Great. Starting the webinar.
Welcome to Denver Startup Week. I'm Tammy Dorr, President and CEO of the Downtown Denver Partnership and co-chair of Denver Startup Week. This year marks the 10-year anniversary of Denver Startup Week. DSW has been the catalyst for lots of change over the past decade. And this week, we're coming together to celebrate the past and dream big for the future. We are able to bring Denver Startup Week to this community thanks to our 2021 sponsors. Thank you to our HQ and title sponsor, Amazon, and our title sponsors whose leadership makes this week come to life. Capital One Cafe, Downtown Denver Partnership, Fluid Truck, Hotel Engine, and WeWork. And our track sponsors who have made all of the great content you're hearing today possible, our founder track sponsor, Kickstart, growth track sponsor, Friday Health Plans, developer track sponsor, Quizlet, product track sponsor, Palantir, our designer track sponsor, Battery 621, and the Public Works, people track sponsor, Exactly, and spotlight event sponsor, Strat Labs. Our headline event sponsors are bringing the excitement to the week. Thank you to B-Side Fund, Colorado Public Radio, Comcast, Coors Brewing, Denver Pavilions, Entrepreneurship at the University of Denver, JP Morgan Chase, Method, Moss Adams, Pi Insurance, Promontory Mortgage, Path, Southwest, Tattered Cover, and VF Venture Foundry. Finally, thank you to our partner and member sponsors, all listed on the screen. Please say thank you to these companies as you enjoy our hybrid Denver Startup Week. And don't forget, use the hashtag DenStartupWeek to share your experiences and moments of inspiration on social media. Have a great week.
Hello, I'm Sal Gentili, CEO of Friday Health Plans, and we're proud to sponsor the growth track this year at Denver Startup Week. We're a company that just entered a rapid growth phase, so we felt it was particularly appropriate. When my business partner and I started Friday Health Plans 5 years ago, we knew we wanted to create a company that catered to people who bought their own health insurance. The Affordable Care Act was just getting going, and we saw an opportunity to serve a brand new market of health insurance consumers. Independent consultants, startup groups, gig workers, service industry workers, designers, creators, and other independent professionals, like many of you here today. We knew that if we built a health plan that was simple to buy, easy to use, had great customer service, and most of all was affordable, we could compete against the big insurance plans who only focus on serving big companies. After spending 5 years getting into the Colorado market and completing a successful proof of concept, we successfully closed a $50 million round of growth funding earlier this year. We're now about to expand to 3 additional states later this year, hire more than 400 employees to support our growth, and eventually be in more than 10 states by 2025. I wish each of you good luck in your startup and growth pursuits. And as you think about your upcoming health insurance needs, I hope you consider fellow growing startup Friday Health Plans. Open enrollment starts November 1st. Check us out at FridayHealthPlans.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to Denver Startup Week. I'm Jake Cohen, the Growth Track Chair and member of the Denver Startup Week Organizing Committee. Thank you for joining us for the 10th anniversary of Denver Startup Week. At Denver Startup Week, we strive to make all of our sessions a space where attendees can connect, learn, and grow. Regardless of age, gender identity, gender expression, race, ability, or sexual orientation. A special thank you to our sponsors for their support in helping us to keep Denver Startup Week free and accessible for all. Thank you for joining us and have a great week.
Okay, Laura, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Mark. I am so excited to be here. Welcome to day one of Denver Startup Week. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the screen here. Okay, great. All right, I am going to go ahead and dig in. So welcome to week one or day one of Denver Startup Week. We are here to discuss photo and video content when you don't have a physical product. So no product, no problem. We're going to move through the high level approach to uncover ideas about your brand, how to translate those into photo and video content ideas. And then at the end, I'm happy to answer any specific questions about content creation. Please feel free to use the Q&A feature and I will get to everything at the end. Okay, so digging right in here. So my name is Laura. I have a background in content strategy, consumer behavior, and currently head up customer loyalty at Sunna, fast casual content company with a studio located on South Broadway. We are a startup ourselves, female founded, and our mission is to make quality content accessible for all. So throughout my career, I have helped brands create content of all sizes, from product photos, social concepts, video campaigns, complex storytelling. And as a producer and scriptwriter, a huge part of my job is to, when there isn't a product, actually create a story around a concept or something that creates something beautiful visually. So kind of digging right in here. So visual content is powerful. It's how we learn about brands. We consume photos and videos and stories, and then read and decide if we want to put our dollars toward those brands. It helps us understand how things fit into our lives. It gives people a reason to buy from you or use your services. So we know that visual content is such a powerful tool to brands to solve problems and grow. Think about any brand that you admire, and that, if you have a product or service, a brand that you want to be, what does that all those brands have in common? They all have a ton of a variety of beautiful content. So when you start to think through a product shoot, you often start there, just the product. On paper, creating content for product companies is pretty easy, right? So if you sell a bathroom gadget that you're wanting to show how modern and easy it is to use, showing it in a beautiful bathroom setting surrounded by contextual props is the way to go. If it's a skincare product that has watermelon in the ingredients, showing with some really juicy watermelon props is going to share with your client that product is going to smell really good, is natural, and really refreshing. Let's just say that your product is a shoe for nurses. Showing that product in context, showing a model wearing it, moving around, shows your customers that product is built for performance. So this is the easy stuff, but what happens when you don't have a tangible product, something that's not as easy as popping it onto a colorful backdrop and snapping a pic of it? So we're talking B2B companies, agencies, consultancies, apps, service-based work, local businesses like attorneys, real estate companies, freelance graphic designers, a welding school. It can be any business, and content creation is still totally possible if you don't have a physical product. So stock photos are not the only way. So this always seems like kind of the low-hanging fruit if you don't have a physical product. Okay, well, stock photos are where I can go. I purposely chose some of the worst offenders here. There's always a little bit of this blue hue happening with stock photos, charts on windows and things like that. But remember that stock photos are not custom to your brand. They're not original. There are some really awesome stock photo options out there, but that's not content that you've created yourself for your brand with a really super specific purpose. So stock photos aren't the only way. Another way in that people do create content for B2B companies or service companies is through using graphics, motion graphics, or animation, and then bigger, more conceptual advertising campaigns. So, but if you're out there with a physical product, or without a physical product, it's not as easy as that see and say. So here's the product, here's what it does. Making content for brands without takes a little more creative thinking. So this is what agencies and creatives and writers are really, really good at. They take a brand's offering, they compare it to a metaphor that their audience is going to understand, and they tell a story with it when your audience is able to walk away with the benefit. But remember that great ideas can come from anywhere. You don't have to be a creative director or hire an agency with a creative background to create beautiful ideas that represent your brand. Agencies absolutely provide a ton of value, with customer research and industry best practices and all of those items. But there are still, as a growing startup, it's sometimes hard to find the budget to be able to hire a third party. So there's a few ways to get to the bottom of some amazing ideas. So content strategy 101, you want to get, your customers to be aware, or your audience to be aware of your brand, get them to click to learn more, and then ultimately get them to buy or use your services. The creative process is simple, but here is the daunting blank page. The blank page is the hardest part. This rings true to all writers, artists, anyone that's even creating just a slide deck. Even just creating this presentation, I know this material up and down, but actually getting started is one of the hardest parts. So this takes a little bit of fearlessness. We're told our whole lives at school to curate ourselves, edit ourselves, and we don't want to say things out loud because we don't want to sound dumb. I just watched the movie Luca recently with my nephews, and the character Luca, whenever he hears a doubtful voice, his friend has personified that doubt as named Bruno and encourages him to say "Silencio, Bruno" when those doubtful thoughts come about. And we all need to silence the Bruno and the doubt when it comes to creating content ideas for our brands. So let's talk about a little bit of focus and where to begin. A lot of people will stay with a brainstorm. There are some really great ways to host brainstorms, but this can be really hard too. You're expected to come into a room from 9 to 10 a.m. and be super creative for that hour and come up with concepts that are going to drive all of your quarterly outcomes. That can be really, really hard. So, we'll talk about a few ways to uncover some content ideas, but remember that the ideas don't have to be completely original. You can bend and blend and break ideas and inspo from anywhere. In music, this is called a sample or an interpolation, and that's exactly what we also do in content creation. So before we get to the point of throwing the ideas at the wall, we kind of need to start at square one. And much like with product photography, we need to start with the product. So it's time to get a little bit curious about yourself. So these are kind of 3 simple steps to take when you're starting from square one on content creation for your brand. So we'll move through each of these. But the first is to uncover everything about your brand. Become introspective, a detective about yourself. And we'll talk about some questions that you can ask to be able to uncover some of the values that mean the most to you as a brand. From there, you can turn discoveries and what you've uncovered into ideas. And then from there, you can bring those ideas to life through visual content. So today we're focusing on photo and video content. Okay, let's dig in. So step 1, getting curious. Let's uncover your brand. So this is time for a little bit of introspection, gather what you already have, take some time with this, and go ahead and dump the answers to these questions in a document. Not only can this inform content creation, this can really inform your brand. And one of the best outcomes of this is that it can also provide alignment. You might be writing solo as a solopreneur or, a consultant or something, but if you have a team, this is a fantastic way for you guys to all align. So question number 1, what are your brand values and mission? So at Sunna, our mission is quality content for all. We put it up on the wall, we talk about it a lot, and that's the thread that goes through every single piece of content that we put out as a company. our brand values: accessibility, affordability, and fun. You'll see that the Sunna brand is packed with emojis. We use funny words. Our copy is really quippy. That's purposeful because we want that thread to go through every single piece of content and every message that we send out. Okay, number 2 is a fun one. What adjectives would you and your customers use to describe it? If you actually have the chance to talk to your customers, ask them. Otherwise, is your product speedy? Is it, does it provide relief to your customers? Are you reliable? Whatever it might be, jot those things down. Take it a step further, take a look at what you would describe and how your customers would describe, see where the common areas are, and then see where the differences are. Third question here: what emotions do your customers feel when your product or service is at its best? I recently purchased a home, and what I felt after we worked with a company called Cross Country Mortgage was relief. They took care of everything. I was super nervous going into it, and they made it fun and they made me feel relief. So that is a really visceral emotion. It was could have been very stressful, but instead I felt very relieved. That would be something that company could jot down. Number 4, what are the 3 biggest benefits to your customers? What gift is it that you're giving to your customers? Jot those things down. And then number 5, what makes your product or your service meaningfully different? That is such a great pocket for content ideas. So step 1, like I said, this is all about uncovering. So this is all there. You started your thing for a reason. You have answers to all of these things. It's just now time to gather them. Okay, step 2, staying curious and discovering more about your brand. So we mentioned brainstorms earlier. Those can be really effective, but they can also be a lot of pressure and not really have the outcomes that you're looking for. So what we're basically suggesting here is kind of the extension of a brainstorm, what I like to call day-to-day discoveries. So pick a week, could be starting tomorrow. Get curious, dedicate a few pages in a notebook or keep a stack of Post-its around, and just kind of keep a weather eye, move throughout your week as normal, but keep an eye and ear out for the more interesting aspects of your business, especially things that you personally find interesting and that are unique to your brand. So this could come to life as, a unique use case that you hadn't heard of before. A customer shared a story or a review of your product or service that was really effusive. Coworker or a customer shared some sort of comment or response in Slack that you had never heard of, might have made you smile. It might be that to keep an eye out for internal things too, because those are content creation starting points as well. Do you have a coworker that starts every meeting with some sort of level set that makes everyone feel really comfortable? Again, things that you could be talking about in your content creation. So basically what you'll have at the end of the week is things to supplement those brand values that you identified a little bit earlier. So you're, thinking about these things that are day to day and discovering things about your brand that you probably wouldn't have noticed if you weren't consciously writing them down. So this is just kind of a fun way, again, if you're flying solo with your business, do this on your own with your customer interactions or your interactions with your products or services. But if you do have a team, have everybody kind of come together and just kind of talk about the things that you noticed and that you discovered about the brand. Okay, so before we dig into the step 3 of bringing those ideas to life, let's talk a little bit about content buckets. So for businesses with a product, ideas and concept, or without a product, I should say, ideas and concepts do need to do a little bit more legwork than just simple product photos. So the next few slides kind of show 4 focus areas and content types that are possible with businesses without a physical product. These 4 areas kind of ring true for any any service company. So content buckets are a way in content strategy that we really focus our thoughts, and they really provide great starting points. So what we'll talk about today is sharing about you and your people, your expertise, your customer, and your offering. So your products and services that you're offering to your customers. Let's kick it off with the people. You and your people are the face of your brand. Show them off. So content output wise, this can come across as about us video or photos, brand storytelling, and team and culture highlights. So digging into some examples, about us photo and video is table stakes. It's one of the easiest ways for customers to get or investors, anybody to get your dad who doesn't understand what you do, give them a quick snapshot of what it is that you do in your business. Founder and team headshots are another way in. It's a way to show your culture and your personality, show your customers who is behind creating the tech that you're putting out to them, the faces behind the brand. One of my favorite video campaigns that came out in the last couple of years actually features Emily, a local Uber driver to Denver. Uber and ASU were doing kind of a combined campaign where they were highlighting Uber drivers who were also getting a degree from ASU. So Emily was getting a UX UI degree, and they did this beautiful employee storytelling about her Uber journey and how she was able to, both go to school and drive for Uber. That's a beautiful story for Uber and ASU customers or students. I just took the train yesterday in RTD and saw that they have this fun campaign of people who move people. RTD could easily just be sharing trains or photos of the light rail, but instead they're showing us Justin, a person behind the creation of the track. And then it's not just about faces, right? Your brand could also come to life with your logo, your swag, brand colors. So 2048 Ventures used Sunna to create fun content using their brand color and logo, a super fun GIF that's definitely much more catchy than just the logo on the page. A few more examples here. Another local Denver company called Tough Marketing. They did some lifestyle headshots at Sunna. But what this does is this brings a wonderful team photo to their website, which is very tech heavy. They're a growth marketing company. Of course, what their customers are going to be caring about is the team working behind the growth marketing. So they show this on their homepage, made a wonderful team video with us as well. And showing your logo in the wild, you and your people actively repping your brand can be really powerful as well. Remember that headshots, let me move this video here. Headshots can also be conceptual. So this person that came into Sunna who does ideation for other brands was able to bring that to life in a headshot. So what's important is that it's, you focus on you. Don't look at your competitors and see what they're doing. Think about what really rings true for your brand and show it off through you and your people. Oops. Okay, your expertise. That's how you got here. So give us a taste of it. This is all about sharing, educating your potential customers, sharing data, your impact, and then tips and tricks. So I just saw that Exactly is actually the sponsor for the people track. They do such a great job of showing the people of their brand. What they do is these really simple web videos. These are not, really high budget stuff. This is just a really simple graphic of Jamie Anderson, what is intelligent revenue, and then a really simple video after where he's explaining it. So this can come to life through educational videos. At Sunna, we'll often do how-to videos. What we've also done is on our, when thinking about our own content strategy is we create videos where people, makes it easier for customers to create content. So these of course are free. They could be using them anywhere, but because of the brand recognition that they remember Sunna and they'll come back. Another fun way in is sharing data points about your business. So we shared one recently at Sunna. We offer free headshots, and we were able to help 800 plus people make visually stunning first impressions with their Sunna headshots. So that is a way for us to really push our brand story and our expertise of creating beautiful headshots for anybody. And then we were able to tie a data point to it too, to also show how we're giving back. A couple other examples here. Tailwind uses its customer and its people to share their expertise on social media best practices and how their customers are using their product to grow. And remember, this can come across as high quality video assets, but this can also just look like an Instagram live. Using simple software like Loom to discuss create a screen recording with a face to the demo. Even asking your customers to share phone videos that you could potentially reshare. That's a really great way to continue pushing your expertise. Your customer's the point, like the whole point. So show us who they are. This can come across in customer highlights, customer testimonials, case studies, and a new term that we coined called shout puts. So your customer, how has your brand made a difference to a customer? Customer highlights can come in super simple forms as, a quote overlaid onto a headshot, all the way to a totally fully blown out video case study. This example that we show here of this "thank you for being a great crew, we had much fun" is a phone photo of a handwritten note that a client gave us. So this is super simple execution, but that tells you everything you need to know about that customer experience. And people listen to people. Another call out that I wanted to something that we like to call shout puts is when your customers win, you win. So our customer green philosophy last year went viral on TikTok because of a Sunna clip that she shared. She used it to create her own TikTok video, and we quickly were able to reshare that, share her results, and basically share that story with other Sunna customers that, hey, look what's possible with the video clips here. You can do the same with your business. Definitely share your customer wins. And remember that when you are creating customer testimonials, you can make it super easy for your customers. Hey, finish this sentence. When you used my X service, X was possible. Hey, can you fill this out for us? I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee if you do that. So it can be really, really simple text overlays over even just graphically, or overlaying it over their headshot or their profile photo or something like that can be super simple and really powerful. And then your offering, it's what helps customers make progress. Show it and tell it. This can come across in how-tos, explainers, benefits and feature highlights, and then really simple metaphors using props. So this is the stuff where we can really start to have fun with props and metaphors. You know, in this kind of top left example, this could have been just a hand holding a phone, but instead we brought some context to the photo using fresh ingredients. This is a company called Thrive that has a kind of a gut health test that you're able to take using an app. Sunna just launched something called a discovery shoot. Very simple screen sharing with Liz doing a talking head of how to use the product, how to move through it, different options for your shoot. This could have been just a screen sharing demo, but that simple human element of having her face there adds just a little bit more and adds more to our offering. Props and metaphors are a really fun way to bring ideas to life. So hail damage, of course, can be shown by showing a photo of a car with hail damage, but what's even more fun is using a little mini toy car and a piece of ice. This also makes customers look twice. It's fun to look at. And then if you're wondering about the dog example, you know, this goes back to that emotion or output of your product. Does your product make your customers sleep easy? Why not show a puppy napping? I can tell you that a lot of people across all categories, guess what performs really well? Pets, dogs, cats, for tech companies, for anywhere. So really easy ways to share your offering using really simple props. So kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, you uncovered your brand values. You now have discovered elements of your brand ever since you kind of did that curiosity, you know, discovery process of jotting things down throughout the week. Here is a really simple Shotless starter kit for any brand that doesn't have a physical product. The about video, founder and team headshots, a customer testimonial video or graphic, expertise tips and videos, and then product feature highlights. So this is a super simple snapshot of check all of these boxes for your content library, because this is the type of content that can be used across web, across social, repurposed in email, repurposed in investor decks, all kinds of things of really quick ways for people to understand your product or service. But from here, this is where the ideation piece comes in. This is kind of the hard stuff. So we do have 3 ways in. And that is, if you don't have a physical product, feature people, feature props, and feature things in place. So in thinking about this people piece, let me move this here. And thinking about this people piece, you know, when you think about featuring people, it can be you, it can be your customers, it can be your employees, it can be friends, it can literally be anybody. But the first one that we wanted to highlight here is your target customer and your target use case. What is the ideal scenario of your customers interacting with your product? Try to stay away from the over the shoulder of the hand holding the phone or using a computer. This beautiful lifestyle shot is a really simple way. You know, she's enjoying coffee, she's smiling, it's in a light, bright living room. This is the target use case for this customer. Emotion reflection. So back to that brand value question of what emotion does your customer feel when this product is at its best? what emotions do your customers feel? So are they feeling really excited? Do they feel relieved? How can you show that using the face of a person? And then this third one is genuine connection. So, with your product, what is possible? Or with your service, what is possible? Really simple human connection. And of course, connection with pets can be a really nice way to bring this to life. Okay, props. Unboxing the benefits. So this is probably the most conceptual idea that we have for you guys today. But if you think about your benefits and how you would personify those things. So, we had that example earlier of that watermelon next to that product, which just gave it this like really juicy, refreshing look and feel. Is your product refreshing to where you could put a lemon in an unboxing video or something that, personify things with props and then actually unbox those items? So if your service is really, really personal, could you have a name tag in that box and be unboxing that thing? So this is kind of a fun challenge of, if you could fit your benefits into a box, your intangible benefits, what could it contain? The second idea when it comes to featuring props for your content is things that'll get your customers to look twice. This is a wild card. So what might make someone look twice to absorb your message? We've done this in a couple ways at Sunna. One of my favorite ways was that we basically did a 360-degree spin video of a gold cat. And it was an ad for our Shopify app. Had nothing to do with Shopify, but the message was there and it made somebody look twice. This kind of ephemeral image of this strange doll hand is what Sunna launched with when Sunna launched in Denver. Definitely has nothing to do with fast casual content. And, the more obvious approach would have been showing a photographer snapping a photo. But what did it do? It created a little bit of buzz. People were like, what the hell is that? And it's actually still on our Google page if you go to Sunna Denver. And then this third piece is this props personification. So if your values or benefits were everyday objects, what could they be? So you see a lot of stock photos with like an easy button or like an enter button with some sort of value on it or something. So I encourage you to like really think about your brand specifically. Like I said, with the refreshing example earlier, is your product more refreshing than the old way? Okay, get yourself a grapefruit or a piece of citrus. That is a really simple way to personify that. And then in place. So the ideal setting. What does your customer's ideal setting look like? If your products or services are often used in a kitchen or something, then show a beautiful kitchen. The ideal setting can be anything. Obviously, this example here is somebody's kind of the ideal version of an office. This Thrive example, this props in context, what props could bring the real element to the services that you provide? So like I said, this Thrive example showed these healthy ingredients surrounded by the app. Again, we opted not to do the hand over the shoulder, just using the app. We brought this idea to life a little bit more by using fresh ingredients. It already gives me the snapshot. If I see broccoli, I think healthy. And then this third one is more of the ephemeral place. It's the place that's not a place. So using color and props to create a world, tapping into your brand colors and different props and even the swag that you offer as a company, if you're there yet, you can really create these different worlds that your products can live in. Okay, so taking these ideas, so we kind of hit on people, props, and place. So those are really the options available when it comes to actually creating. If you're not featuring yourself in the content, those are the options that you have available. So from there, you have to bring it to life in a shot list. So you don't have to have a shot list, but it's a really nice way to kind of align and see exactly what it is that you're looking to create. At Sunna, we start with the content type. So either is it a photo or a video, or maybe even a graphic? What is it that you're shooting? So for instance, this was a toy car featuring that toy dinosaur. So that toy car is the subject of the scene. The subject might be you. The subject could be your customer. But either way, you always want to highlight what's the hero, what's the subject of the scene. The setting or the backdrop. So for that example, it was a yellow backdrop. It could be if you're doing an about us video and you're hoping to seem really approachable, then you might want to shoot that on the couch. Or if you're doing a live in your home office, that might be the setting or backdrop. And then just a super simple Shotless description. So Shotless ideally can be handed off to any creator and they could make things of it. It's also just a nice way if you are doing DIY content creation, just to keep yourself organized. Oh, the ways to create. So tons of opportunity anymore. Our iPhones are fantastic for content creation, especially when it comes to those how-to videos or tips, or even just like hearing from a founder every so often. Either shooting with an iPhone or going live is a really great option. Of course, there's local photographers or boutique studios, agencies, and freelancers. Websites like the Denver Egotist are a fantastic resource to be able to kind of see what's going on, and especially in our local community in Denver. And then, of course, I am a big believer in fast casual content, which is what Sunna provides. So we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a moment. But one last kind of piece when it comes to resources to creating, just a few that are our favorites. Loom is something that we use internally at Sunna to screen share, edit, and really add a face to product demos and things like that. It's a really nice way to add a human touch, especially to the B2B, tech, and app demo world. The next resource here is Canva, especially when we get into overlaying brand values, customer testimonials, employee quotes, or basically any sort of graphic or design. Canva is a really awesome resource to design, add graphics. They have a ton of templates, both moving and static. Customer testimonials, data, text overlays, really awesome resource here. Of course, even just something simple as Instagram stories can also give you really nice ways to overlay quotes super simply. The next piece is if you are wanting to do any video editing yourself, I'm not going to knock iMovie. It does everything for you. I mean, you just pretty much are able to just drop it in and spit it out. If you want a little more control, Adobe Rush is really kind of Premiere meets the simplicity of iMovie. So all within Adobe Rush, you can shoot, edit, and share videos in the app, and it's pretty reasonable month over month. And then the last resources that we love is Sunna, high quality photo and video content. Our price is a la carte. It's affordable. It's delivered in 24 hours. And you can create with Sunna either in our Denver studio or through a virtual shoot. So these are all resources that we love. And the combination of all of these will set you up just right. So really quick on how to create with Sunna. Sunna, like I said, female founded in Denver here on South Broadway. You order your shoot online. You can join your shoot either with us in studio. A ton of examples that we showed here in the deck today were Sunna shoots. Lots of local companies do create with us to be able to, have a really accessible way to create content for their brands. And then all pricing is a la carte. So you just buy the ones you like. So what I would love to do, Sunna does offer free headshots to everybody. Through a Headshots for All booking, you can go to book.sunna.co and book one of these. We swap out the color backdrop each month. So for October, it's Spice. It's kind of this nice, kind of burnt orangey color that is really nice for fall. And then if you're hoping to do a video shoot or a photo shoot, you can book with Laura and either get $39 off your first video clip or your first photo. So use that code and you will get a little bit of a discount. I would love also to answer any questions for you. Feel free to email me at laura@sunna.co. And this is actually a piece of custom content that Sunna made for a content strategy guide that we put out. So another great example of how props and a hand model actually was able to bring these ideas to life. So we know that your content future is looking bright now that you have these tools. I would love to answer any questions. So please feel free to pop them into the Q&A. I will just kind of prioritize them as they come in. But otherwise, I so appreciate everyone's time today. I hope that you were able to walk away with some nice tools to be able to get started. Okay, so looks like we just got a question. As a new business, how much time should I really invest at my first attempt at this? When am I spending too much time trying to create a piece of content? This is a great question, and kind of depends. So if you are I'm trying to think of how I would actually quantify how much time that when you really should spend on it. Oh yeah, let me hop back up to that. When it comes to the actual time that you should spend creating content, I do think that you'll want to spend a little bit more time up front thinking about your content strategy. So why is it that you're creating content? Are you hoping to grow through paid media? Are you hoping to just have more brand awareness through your Instagram page with, hoping to have a little bit more engagement on your assets? But when it comes to that kind of initial shot list that I shared, so the About Us video, making sure that you're doing some really quick snapshots of product and features, I would definitely spend the time on that. If you're finding that you're spending more than, even like 3 or 4 hours at a time, definitely start to dig around the internet for some resources or potentially hire somebody to help you with that. But I believe that it is so worth it to invest that time up front, because you are going to be able to have that content ideally for a year or so. So I would certainly, put up the time up front. And then when it comes to kind of the supplementary content, so once you kind of check the boxes of those table stakes shot list, so let me just zip up to that slide again. Once you have all of these elements, I think at that point you start to supplement your content. So you might just be spending, an hour or so every couple weeks on content creation. Okay, someone said to repeat the email and contact. So laura@sunna.co is my email. Okay, here we go. How about a place here in Denver that sells granite and countertops? Products are too heavy to bring to you. Do your photographers travel at all? So Sunna photographers at the moment, everything happens within the Sunna studio. However, we could certainly shoot slabs. The other piece that I think is really important when it comes to a product that is kind of installed in a place is to get customer photos of it. And it might even be, incentivizing them in some way of buying them an Amazon gift card or something like that to take photos of their product actually installed. So I would really lean on, when it comes to the kind of creating more volume of content creation, lean on your customers to take some photos for you. Or of course, before you get out of there of installing, making sure that you're actually taking some product in place, because if somebody's investing in granite, they want to know what it looks like in place. They want to put that into context. So we could certainly shoot some slabs of granite at Sunna. We have certainly done that. Actually, Vitraza is a local company. They have pretty big, glass things that rolling chairs will go over to protect floors. So their product is pretty big, but they get it over to our studios just fine. Ooh, a great question from Dana. She says, do you need your customers' permission to use their win in your marketing? How do you use it so you don't come across as taking credit for them? Or is that even an issue? It's very important to get your customers' permission. In my opinion, I'm in customer loyalty, always want to get customers' permission before sharing a win. I really encourage you to have that conversation up front with your customers before you even start interacting with them. Hey, I really love sharing when my customers win. So I just want to let you know that I'll probably be reaching out to you for a testimonial at the end of our relationship, or as we continue it. So that is absolutely something, at Sunna, what we'll often do is just reach out to our clients and say, hey, we see that this asset performs super well. We'd love to share a quote from you, because at that point, it's a little bit of co-marketing as well. Okay, let me see here. Ooh, we've got a question about NFT. I am not an expert on NFT, although I have been very interested to see what Sunna content could be converted in this. So what's your top tip for a website that sells digital art? That is a really great question. I am so far from being an NFT expert. What I always say when it comes to top tip for website content is swapping it out. So depending on, getting enough in your content library to be able to update your website. That way, when your customers, depending on your customers' cadence of using you as a business or a service, that way, every time they come back to your website, there is something new for them to check out. So definitely keep things seasonal. Make sure that it's, on October 4th, you're not sharing anything about Valentine's Day or something on your on your website. But when it comes to, things like digital art, I think the name of the game is to just really keep that updated and make sure that things are really new and fresh anytime a customer lands on that website page. Okay, great. Any other questions? Let me zip back down to my contact information here. Okay, I think that's all the questions for today. Yeah, please email me at laura@sunna.co. I'll make sure to get you your booking recommendation, or refer you to any other types of content creation that fit your shoot goals. We would love to have you in the Sunna studio. Like I said, it's on South Broadway. You'll see us in and out of DSW events all week long. But like I said, once you're ready, if you're ready to create, head to book.sunna.co, poke around, start to see, and we would love to bring your Shotless to life. All right. I suppose, Mark, should I'm down to hang around if anyone wants to ask any more questions.
Let's see, are there any new questions in the chat? I think you're all set.
Okay, great.
This has been wonderful.
Awesome. Well, I will say, no shortage of information, lots to throw at everybody, but it's nice to kind of have that to then pick and choose, how you do want to start to jot those ideas down and bring them to life. Okay, wonderful. Well, with that, I'm out of here, y'all. I will see you on the internets at more DSW events.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you so much to DSW, and all of this is such insane hard work. I think I got this Zoom link invite at in the middle of the night. So I think you guys have some elves working around the clock to make these things happen.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Laura. Very great presentation. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.